Welcome back to Leading Veterinary Teams on Air. I'm your host, Suzanne Thomas, and if you're new here, I'm done watching good people burn out under bad systems. I don't talk about leadership in theory. I teach leaders what actually works when things are messy, emotional, and under pressure. On this podcast, I bring you guests from all over vet med. Sometimes we're talking with veterinarians, sometimes technicians, other times practice owners, industry leaders, and others who have had an impact on veterinary medicine in some way. Whether you're in a formal leadership role or not, if you're tired of blaming the people and ready to change the systems that you're in the right place. If you're ready to lead differently, save this, subscribe, and leave us a review. Also, if there's someone that you want me to talk to, let me know, because honestly, I want to bring you the guests that you want to hear from. I'm recording this episode from VMX, hence the shirt. And every single time I'm here, it puts me into this reflection mode. When you're surrounded by thousands of people in veterinary medicine, practice owners, associates, managers, leaders, it becomes really clear what's working and what's not. So this is going to be a solo episode, and it's probably going to be a little bit more personal, a little bit more honest. And so today I want to talk to you about what I'm genuinely excited about as we move into 2026. Some of the things that I'm worried about in vet med, the patterns that I keep seeing over and over again, why these patterns have led me to create CLARITY, a veterinary leadership operating system, which I will talk more about shortly, what I've launched this weekend here at VMX, and where I'm headed with speaking and leadership work this year. This is not going to be a hype episode. It's going to be a clarity episode. So let's start with what I'm excited about, because there's actually a lot to be hopeful about. First, veterinary professionals are waking up. I'm hearing better questions. I've heard just today, why does this feel unsustainable? Why are good people burning out? Why does success look good on paper but feel really awful in real life? That awareness matters. The second thing is that leadership expectations are changing. People are no longer impressed by titles without integrity, growth without capacity, or culture statements that don't match the reality. Teams want leaders who can regulate themselves, communicate clearly, hold boundaries, and lead humans, not just the numbers. And that really excites me because it means that our industry is ready for something different. The third thing that I'm seeing is more practices realizing that we don't need more information. We need a better system. Not another webinar, not another personality test, not another inspirational talk that just fades into the next couple of weeks. We need a system that helps leaders think clearly, communicate consistently, and lead intentionally. And that shift really gives me hope for the rest of this year. The things that worry me in vet med today, pretending that everything is fine hasn't helped us. And I think that burnout is this hype word that's still being treated like a personal failure. We keep asking, why can't people handle this? Why are associates leaving? Why does no one want to lead? Instead of asking, what kind of systems are we asking people to survive inside of? Burnout isn't a resilience issue, it's a design issue. We also are fixing burnout with individuals and giving people these tools for burnout by giving them wellness tips and wellness tools for individuals instead of looking at wellness as a community thing. And I think that there is maybe some space there to look at what that could mean. I haven't totally ironed that out yet, but it worries me that we focus a lot on burnout, but we have put a lot of that pressure on the individual to fix themselves instead of helping each other. It feels like we have almost pushed people even further away from each other instead of creating a community around each other. So that worries me. I guess the next thing that worries me is leadership without self-leadership. And what I mean by that is that I see leaders who are emotionally reactive, conflict avoidant. They completely avoid conflict, over-functioning, quietly resentful, and completely exhausted. Not because they don't care, but because no one has ever taught them how to lead themselves first. So leadership becomes control or people pleasing or completely shut down. And that's not a character flaw, that's a missing operating system. And then the same cycles just continue to repeat. So I continue to see this pattern constantly where a practice grows, the leader doesn't grow within it, communication continues to break down, trust erodes, and then turnover increases. And then instead of addressing the root cause, we just add more tools. But if the pattern stays the same, the outcome's going to stay the same. And this is exactly why I created CLARITY. Now, CLARITY is a veterinary leadership operating system. And I created it not because VetMed needs more content, but because leaders keep telling me, I know something isn't working. I just don't know what to change. So CLARITY is not motivation. It's not mindset, fluffy, woo-woo stuff. And it's not theory. It's a system that helps leaders see what's actually happening, understand their role within the system, lead conversations instead of avoiding them, create consistency instead of chaos. You don't need to be louder. You don't need to be nicer. And you definitely don't need to be tougher. You just need clarity. When leaders get clarity, teams feel safer. When teams feel safer, performance follows every single time. I'm not ready to completely launch CLARITY yet. It should be ready, hopefully by May. More to come. But I did launch a few pieces of CLARITY this weekend at VMX. And I want to share with you that what I have launched this weekend, it is directly connected to everything that I've been talking about. I keep seeing leaders who weren't necessarily lacking effort, and definitely not intelligence, but lacking visibility. They are telling me that something feels off, but they couldn't see where that leak is. So I launched a leadership blind spot assessment that I was walking around and have been walking around VMX with. Posted it on some boards throughout the conference center, left it on some of the tables, and have been handing them out to people. And also everyone I've been talking to, I've been asking them to take the assessment. It's a 15-question assessment that anyone can take today. It's right on my website, lvt.vet, and it's designed to help you identify your primary leadership blind spot, the leak, right? It's not your personality. It's not a personality test. It's not your strengths or weakness. It's the blind spot. It's the thing that is quietly undermining your leadership, even when you're trying your best. Because you can't fix what you can't see. And so I created this to give you a little insight into what you're doing really well and what you need a little bit of guidance on. And so it gives you some pointers. And then, if you would like to, there is a next step that is called the CLARITY Toolkit. And so this is an option that you have to explore. The toolkit includes 3 tools from the larger CLARITY operating system. It's not the full system. That is, like I said, coming later this year, probably around May. And you can think of this as a sneak peek, a hands-on like entry point, something that you can actually use today. I tell people to treat it like a workbook. It's not a course. It's literally like a worksheet. You don't consume it. You are going to actually apply it. There are some scripts in there, some things that you can actually utilize, and some things that you can write down. So you're going to want to print it off. I didn't make it a PDF that you can fill it out. Sorry. But if you have the filler thing, you can make it like that for yourself. But you can go ahead and print it. It's not that many pages, so it's not going to take up that much ink. It's all black and white, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal to print off for yourself. And so you will use it as kind of like a pseudo workbook. And it's designed to help you slow down your thinking, get out of that emotional reactivity, and lead with intention instead of instinct. So if you've ever thought, I don't know if I'm the bottleneck, I just don't know how, this is where clarity starts. And then from there, if you're still like, I want more, I'm actually going to be offering a small group of people who are ready to invest in their future for leadership starting February 10th to go through a 3-week guided experience. This is going to be for people who are done circling the same leadership issues. So over these 3 weeks, we're going to deep dive into the single biggest leak that I have seen in leadership. And this is leading our people, not managing tasks, not fixing schedules, not holding it all together silently, but actually leading other humans. So we're going to work through communication breakdowns, avoiding those really hard conversations, misalignment, emotional fatigue, and the pressure that you carry as a leader, but rarely actually name. This is not going to be passive learning. It's applied, it's guided clarity. It's me and you and the group actually getting on Zoom live. So it means like actually sitting down, and it's required time, right? You have to invest in your time. And so I know that it's not for everyone. I know that not everybody's going to want to jump on that, but I want to do that as a hint towards what Clarity is, because Clarity is a 12-week program and it is much larger. It does also require an investment into yourself as well as a time commitment. And so if you can do it for 3 weeks, you can definitely do it for 12. But if you're looking for a little extra, this is an opportunity to get a little bit of some guided clarity. So if you're curious of where your leadership blind spot is, start with the assessment. If you want tools that you can apply immediately, check out the CLARITY Toolkit. And if you already know that you're ready to lead at that higher level, the February 10th group, that's going to be our next step. Absolutely no pressure, just the right step when you're ready. So this work is really also why I'm so excited about the rooms that I'm going to be in this year. I'm going to be speaking at Hive, NABC Hive San Antonio, Texas in May. I'm also going to be speaking at GVS Con, which is Guardian Vet Specialists Conference, also in May. Not 100% confirmed, but I've talked to her, so I'm like 99.9% confirmed for New York Vet. That is in October this year, and I will be doing a webinar with Hound in June, date TBD. And, I'm pretty sure there will be others, but nothing yet is confirmed, so more to come on that. But listen, I don't show up to hype people up. I show up to name what others avoid. I give leaders language for what they're experiencing and offer something practical that they can use, hopefully Monday morning, if not Tuesday. And I want to do more of this. So if you're listening and you're involved in a conference or a leadership group or a planning committee, or you just know someone who is, please send those opportunities my way. Because honestly, the more I'm able to speak out and get this message out, the more people know about the operating system and the more people are able to learn more about the work that I'm doing. VetMed doesn't need louder voices. It just needs clearer ones. So I guess I'll end with this. 2026 doesn't need another year of white knuckling over functioning or quietly wondering if VetMed is a career that's worth it. It can be a year that we stop normalizing dysfunction and start designing leadership on purpose. If something in this episode resonated, that's not accidental. Clarity usually comes first. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you for doing this work. And I want to thank you for hanging out with me, and I shall see you in the next episode.